Jeff, good to see you. What a season it's been. How do you assess the progress that the club's made in the last 12 months?
I think, of course, I'm very happy about the achievement, and we are at the seventh place. But the most important thing is about making the progress. Because every season we want to make the progress for the club and for the team, and so it shows we are at a very good curve and to progress to the next level. And I hope for next season we can keep growing. Yeah.
What's pleased you the most that you've seen in the last year?
I think the most important thing, I think we are working like a team, and from Nuno, from the team, from us, from all the staff, from the fans, and we are really united, and we are working toward the same direction. I think that's the most important thing. If you want to keep on growing and keep on growing, especially for a long while, and I think you have to do something like this. And so it's really great to have the people around you and to work like the same way. And so I think that's the most pleasing thing to me. Yeah.
Because on the pitch we had 7th place, of course, but there was also the FA Cup run and all the fans that we took to Wembley. How much do you think that highlighted, I guess, the potential that is still there within this football club?
Mike, I think the result is the result, but many efforts was done behind the result. So I think maybe the fans can only see what's the result like and in the FA Cup, in the league, but we are seeing the team growing every day. That's the base for everything. So if you're asking the potential for the future, and only when we are keep growing and keep improving and for everything here, and not only about squad, but also about the pitch, about the surroundings, about the support from the people here, and about how bright you are, how to take the club to another level. I think all the things, if we keep doing something like this, and you can see the potential is always there, and so we can always improve from here to the next level. Yeah.
I guess a big part of that will be the summer recruitment and bringing in new players. I imagine the planning for that is already well underway. How important do you feel improving and building on the squad that Nuno has is going to be important to success?
Always two parts, I think. The first part is how our players in our squad now, how can they improve, and for the next season. You can see, like for example, like Diego, he improved a lot, and like Conor Cody and all the players, and some of the players, they were from the championship, but you can see they can handle it very well in the Premier League. So I think the first thing is we want to see more growth, more development from the current squad. But the next thing is about how to do something in the window, of course. But I think depending on Nuno's identity, philosophy, we are very clear about what profile player we want. So, but it depends on the market, So you know what you want. That's the most important thing. But also, sometimes you need the market to release some player you want. So I cannot say very concretely now, but what I can say is we will work very hard to improve the squad and also try to compete with the best teams. Yeah.
Because that leads very nicely into the next question, I guess, which is one that a lot of fans will be keen on, which is how far into that process of bringing new players in are you?
I think by my personal experience, it takes time. So we have to be patient, and we are not just trying to buy the best players in the world. It doesn't work for us. So we are patient to wait for the right deal to happen. So when we are talking about the right deal, it means the players wants to come to us, and also the club he is in now wants to sell him or loan him, right? So I think it depends, not only depending on us, it's depending on the market, and so. But currently we are at a better position than the last season. To be honest, in the last season when we were just promoted, I felt sometimes some players they didn't want to come because you were just promoted, maybe you will go down again. So So now I think we show we can be very competitive in the Premier League, and also we have beat many strong teams. You have seen that, and so I think it's more attractive to the top players in the world. And so we have a top coach, we have a top team. So I think the job will be easier to us. But in the meantime, because we are already here, so the requirement for the quality of the players will be higher. So I think something good, something bad, but we have to work harder. Yeah.
Well, on that, the loan with a view to a permanent has been something that's really benefited getting players into the club. Is that still something that you will look to engage with this summer, or does the process of signing players change?
I think loan first, then buy after. I think it's a good strategy, but it's not something we can do always, because it's depending on the market. And sometimes, for example, when we are loaning a player, it means maybe the previous club they don't need a player at that moment. So then they are so happy to loan him to us, and also it's a good time window for us to check the player, and also the selling club, they are really keen to sell the club, to sell the player with the right price. So it's about three parties, and also the players will be happy to be loaned first, then try his best to join us, like Raul, right? But it's not something we can copy again and again. I think so. If some chance like that will happen, we are happy to do that. But we will still maybe keep the chance maybe to buy some players, and also like this. So, and also of course sometimes we have to promote some players from our academy. So that's a mix.
There's still a potential of qualifying for the Europa League as well. How much will that change the potential plans and increasing the group that you may need to cope with that?
Yeah, I have just talked with Nuno, and he thought the philosophy will be the same. So we will still try to keep a small squad, and also we will not do something like, okay, if we have one more tournament to compete, we will have more players. But if after the tournament, how to do with them? So I think we will not do these kind of things, and we will still try to keep a short squad as Nuno wants. But in the meantime, it requires higher quality from our academy players, because sometimes when you need them, they can step up, they can help the team. So in my view, and if we go to Europe, fingers crossed, and I think it means maybe it's not about the first team. It's about we have to improve the squad for our U23 or U18. So then they will be ready when we need them. Yeah.
How significant do you think it would be if we did qualify for Europe? I guess for the whole football club in the area as well.
Yeah, I think we are happy, of course. But it's also something we have to think about. It will change the whole process, because, for example, if you go to Europa League and the game will start very soon, So, for example, if you haven't that, and you can take a rest, and then the players will come back to the training camp, then we start again. But if you have more games to play, for example, if you want to go to the group stage, you will have 6 games to play. So it means that the training method maybe have to be tweaked, and so I think that's a challenge to Nuno. But also in the meantime, and you are on the stage in Europe, it will improve the profile of the club and the players. So long termly, it's a good thing to us. And in general, it's a good thing. But from my view, I'm always thinking about what's the challenge, how to tackle that. So the fans will be happy, of course. But we have to think carefully about how to do the job. Yeah.
You mentioned the under-23s and the academy.
Yeah.
The under-23s have had a fantastic season as well this year. How important do you feel is that the positivity that kind of began last year and has flowed through, and he's not just with the first team, but he's now embracing other elements of the club as well.
Yeah, I think the competitiveness of a club is about everything. It's not only about the first team, and especially if you have a long-term plan, and if you have only a first team, it's not so helpful. And I think because the first team will, maybe sometimes you will have better moment, good moment, but the academy is the foundation for everything. So if we are always talking about a 10-year plan. So if you are talking about that, and you need a very good academy to support the long-term development. So in my view, and the academy may be the second most important thing in the club. So I have been talking with Scott always, and we are talking about the strategy for the academy, how to make the academy much better than now, and because you can still see a big gap between us and the top 6 regarding the youth training and the players. Yeah. So we are talking about how to improve that, and I believe sometimes the performance of the first team will fluctuate, and sometimes. But if you have a strong academy and better, and you will be always comfortable in your heart, because we have a strong foundation. When we needed the young players, they can do the job. So that's very important to us.
Because it's something actually you've spoken to me about for 3 years, that element of breeding players here, bringing through our own young talents, and the benefit that actually you can generate revenue from that as well.
Yeah, generating revenue is not the goal for the academy, but one of the goals for the academy is trying to make financial balance, so for example, internally we have a kind of virtual financial statement for the academy, and they are operating more independently. So I think, for example, when we have a young player from the academy, when we get him to the first team squad, we assume we are selling from the academy the player to the first team. So we will give the player a price tag, for example, how much, and also we will calculating how much benefit from the first team from the academy. So the revenue will go to the academy. So I think we are operating internally like this. So it gives Scott a big challenge in how to make the academy more independent, more like a business unit. But in the meantime, of course, the more players who will go to the first team, the more players you can sell with a good price, of course, and it will help the financial statement. So that's how we operate. Yeah.